Hello everyone, we are from the Pune Bird Atlas team and I'm Dr. Pankaj Koparde. I'll be presenting this presentation on behalf of the Pune Bird Atlas team. So Pune Bird Atlas is a very unique citizen science project which is running since 2020. And why Pune city? Primarily because of its location, which is in the edges of the Western Ghats. The city is rapidly urbanizing. There are a lot of people who do bird watching. However, there is no long-term research effort so far in Pune city to understand and document the birds that we have in the city. So that's why we have chosen Pune city as the citizen science site. So quickly moving on to the methods. The extent of the PMC, the Pune Municipal Corporation area, is around 331 square kilometer when we started the project. This extent has now increased and it is more than 400 square kilometer now over the period of time. However, we are stick to the old extent because we started this project in 2020. So this entire extent has been divided into grids and subgrids following the other standard bird atlases that have been happening around, like Mysuru Bird Atlas, Kerala Bird Atlas, and so on and so forth. So we have used the same protocol, same dimensions of the grid, and we are just doing it in Pune city. So though study area is different, the protocol is same across. So we do bird watching in two different seasons. We have identified summer season as January to April and winter season to be September to December. So bird watching is generally done between 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. of time. And as I mentioned that the grid size is same all across. So typically we have a 1.1 kilometer grid and a bird watcher would go to this particular grid and would be making four different checklists of 15 minutes each in each of the subsections. Apart from this, we also collect predictors, various types of predictors to understand the habitat structure in a particular area. And this data is a supplementary data which can be eventually used to understand the species habitat relationships. So we started in early 2020 and we were uh, a group of 4 to 5, the core team members, and eventually we floated this idea across. And now we have more than 200 volunteers, 7 core team members now who are contributing. There are more people joining day by day every year. So I'll jump onto the results of this Atlas exercise. So the very first result I would like to talk about is this entire summary of the Atlas exercise. So as I mentioned that we started in 2020. So the summer 2020 coverage of the city and the checklist looks something like this shown in the map. But since 2020, we have collected a lot of data. As you can see in the timeline that 2020 we had 117 species recorded, 2021 we had 162, and 2022 112, and in 2023 we have further more species added to this. So this is the entire summary. However, if you look at each and every part of this atlas, there's a lot more that you can analyze. So first of all, the number of checklists submitted, as you can see, we have a 74% spatial coverage of the entire city, which is really huge. So out of 198 grids, 147 grids were surveyed consistently, as you can see this. And it's primarily located in the western part of the city. So there is some bias. However, we are trying and planning and prioritizing grids which are not sampled yet. So this is the first and foremost result that we have got. The second result is the species richness. So far overall species richness we have got is 186, and there are some grids which are showing a very high number of species richness. So the highest species richness have been observed that to be 98. So the grid species richness varies from 13 to 98. So there's a lot of variation, and that's primarily because of the various habitats which are there in the grids. So if you look at the overview of the checklist submitted since 2020 to 2023, the overall coverage has increased, and there is a systematic change that you can see over here. Similarly, for the species richness, you can see from 2020 to 2023, there is increasing number of breeds from where more and more number of species are reported, and that's primarily because of the change in the awareness, people participating. Also, let us also think about COVID times, that all these years also span COVID times when the activity overall was very less. So which are the Pune's favorite birds? So the four species that are prominently highlighted the most or frequently cited are black drongo, common myna, house crow, and house sparrow. So these are, I think, the birds which every Punekar would be knowing and would be seeing them again and again. So they have come out to be the highest frequency birds. If we divide the birds with the fielding guild, then we see more of insectivorous birds compared to other types of other, dietary birds. So for example, insectivorous could be like a warbler or something. So we have more of those birds compared to the other guilds. And similarly, for the habitat types, we have species which are primarily non-specialized. So, they would be occupying different types of habitat, not only sticking to one particular habitat. However, wetland comes out to be another prominent habitat where we have most of the species. And now this is highly relevant because Pune has a lot of lakes. It has 3 to 4 prominent rivers flowing across it. And of course, we all know that the river, when it enters into the city, gets polluted, and there are a lot of issues associated with the water bodies in the city. However, we are seeing that wetland birds are one of the very dominant kind of species feature that we have in Pune. So let's come back to the birders here. So we have people of 4 generations birding together. That's like a wonderful thing. So we have school kids till people of retirement age who have been joining all these birding trips. We have been using different types of methods to reach out to more and more people, especially news articles, outreach sessions, birding sessions, bioblitz, and things like that, even radio talks. So there is more and more participation. So finally, it looks like that post-COVID era has been like really wonderful for this entire PBA activity. And this is the third year in 2023. So we are concluding this particular phase one of the project in 2023. However, we will extend it and we will now focus more on the priority area. So that's the plan. So far we have 200 plus active birders and 500 plus people who have reached through the outreach. So this is the team, and this presentation is dedicated to all the citizen scientists who have contributed so far. So thank you for your patient listening.